Hey everyone, welcome back. This time we are going...
A classic.
Yeah, we're going deep on this one.
I love this film.
Yeah, Killing a 1956 film noir, directed by the legendary Stanley Kubrick.
One of his early ones.
One of his very early ones, right? But really kind of set the stage for what he would become.
It did.
And so we've got a great movie review to guide us through this, and we're going to figure out why this film is still so influential today.
Exactly.
You know, what makes it stand out, what makes it special, and we'll throw in some behind-the-scenes trivia.
Oh, I like it.
To make you sound like a film buff.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so, I mean, right off the bat,
yeah,
what I think is so fascinating about The Killing is that its storytelling still feels so fresh.
Oh, totally.
Even today.
Yeah, it's like he's having with time. He's jumping back and forth between different perspectives of this heist. And it's almost like he's a puzzle. Yeah, he's playing a game with the audience.
Yeah.
Letting us piece things together, just like the characters are.
Right, and it just keeps you on the edge of your seat because you know something big is going to happen.
Exactly.
But you're never quite sure how it's going to unfold.
You don't know how the pieces fit until the very end.
And the review even points out that, you know, this technique went on to influence like some of your favorite crime films.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like Reservoir Dogs,
yes.
Even Ocean's 11.
That's right. With all of their intricate plots jumping between characters and timelines.
It's amazing to think that he was already pushing cinematic boundaries back. Yeah, those films definitely owe a lot to Kubrick's vision.
So at the heart of The Killing is this meticulously planned racetrack robbery.
Okay.
And the level of detail that goes into this by Johnny Clay, who's the mastermind, is insane. And did you know that Kubrick actually used real racetrack footage? Oh, really?
For those scenes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he really wanted to capture
the authenticity
of it.
Yeah.
And that kind of attention to detail is a really...
It's interesting.
It's very noir.
It is. It's a classic noir element. The allure of the perfect plan.
Yes.
But as the review highlights, Kubrick also masterfully portrays the human flaws, the unexpected twists of fate that ultimately
bring it all down.
Bring the whole plan crashing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is so interesting because it's like, okay, so you've got this meticulous plan, but then you've got
the human element.
The human element, right? And those things that you just can't plan for.
You can't account for.
And it makes you wonder, I mean, did Johnny Clay ever really stand a chance?
Or was he doomed from the start?
Yeah, was he trapped in this web of his own making?
That's the question.
Yeah.
That's the brilliance of the film because it makes you question, you know,
Yeah.
whether anyone can truly escape their fate.
Right.
Especially when greed is involved.
Right. And so speaking of Johnny Clay, played by the fantastic Sterling Hayden.
Oh, such a good actor.
He is just so cool and calculating.
Oh, yeah.
He's like the epitome of the criminal mastermind.
Right.
But it's interesting you say that because the review also points out that there's this intriguing duality.
Oh, yeah.
To his character.
Absolutely.
You know, he's incredibly smart, organized.
Got it all together.
But yet he makes this one crucial mistake.
What's that?
He trusts the wrong people. And that one decision ends up being his downfall.
That's so classic noir.
That misplaced trust.
Yeah.
Leading to the betrayal.
And the chaos,
It's like a domino effect.
Yeah.
One wrong move leads to another, and the whole plan unravels.
The review also shouts out Alicia Cook Jr.
Oh, yeah.
And Marie Windsor for their performances.
Oh, they're fantastic. Cook Jr. plays George, this kind of weak-willed cashier who gets caught up in this scheme.
Yeah.
And Windsor is Sherry, his wife.
Oh, she is.
Who's absolutely manipulative.
Oh, yeah.
And ultimately betrays him.
Classic femme fatale.
Yes, and Windsor is just captivating.
He is.
She just embodies that classic noir trope.
Right.
Of the alluring woman
who
uses her beauty and her cunning to get what she wants.
Even if it means destroying others.
Even if it means, taking everybody down with
her process, right?
Yeah, and her character just oozes this charm and this danger.
Absolutely.
Which, again, plays into those themes of the betrayal and the downfall.
It all ties together.
Yeah. And visually, I think what Kubrick does so well is he reinforces this impending doom with that classic noir style.
Right. High contrast lighting.
The shadows, the claustrophobic framing.
Yeah, the framing is so important in this film.
It's like you could feel the walls sleazing in.
Yes, you can. And that creates this atmosphere of tension and paranoia.
Yeah. And you mentioned the framing. I thought the way he shot those racetrack sequences.
Oh, yeah.
Was so interesting.
And amazing.
Because he captures the energy and the chaos of the event.
Yeah.
But then he simultaneously highlights that meticulous timing that's required for the heist.
Right.
So it's like you're seeing both sides of it.
Yes, you are. And it's almost like watching a ballet of crime unfold.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Every movement is calculated,
yeah.
But there's still this underlying sense of unpredictability
that
keeps you guessing.
Yeah, now the review mentioned the film score as ominous and restrained.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such a great way to describe it because it's not
your typical action movie soundtrack.
No.
He uses music very subtly to build suspense and create this immersive experience.
Yeah, and it really adds to that feeling like something's about to go terribly wrong.
You're just waiting for it.
Yeah.
You're on the edge of your seat.
And the way he pieces together the events.
Through editing.
Yes, jumping back and forth. It's like he's challenging us to solve this puzzle.
Absolutely.
Alongside the characters.
You're trying to figure out how those different pieces fit together.
Yes.
What's going to happen next.
It's brilliant.
And it just keeps you hooked.
Yeah.
It keeps you invested in the story.
So we talked about the storytelling. We talked about all the kind of technical
the crass
aspects of the killing. Yeah. But let's talk about the deeper meaning behind it all.
Okay.
Because the review mentions these themes of fate, greed, human fallibility.
A big theme.
Huge themes.
Yeah.
And what's so compelling about the killing is that it really transcends being just a heist thriller.
It does. It becomes a commentary on the human condition.
Yeah.
You know, it explores the idea that even with the best intentions, meticulous planning things can
go wrong
and often do go wrong.
And that's what makes it so relatable.
Even today. Yes.
Because we're all flawed, right?
We are.
I mean, we make mistakes. We trust the wrong people.
Yeah. We let greed get the best of us.
We get blinded by greed, And
sometimes it feels like fate.
It does feel like fate has a hand in it all.
Has a hand in it all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's what Kubrick, I think, captures so well.
He does. Yeah, it's that element of chance, that you can't plan for that really gives the film its weight.
Right.
It makes us think about, our own vulnerabilities. Are we really in control?
Yeah, I mean, it makes you wonder how much control do we actually have
exactly
over our own lives?
Yeah, are we masters of our own destiny or are we just pawns in some grand cosmic game?
Yeah, are we playing out a script that's already been written?
Right. And that's what makes it so thought-provoking.
Yes.
It forces us to ask those big questions.
Yeah, and those are the kinds of questions that great films inspire us to ask.
Exactly.
Right, and Killing certainly falls into that category.
Yeah, it does.
The review did mention a couple criticisms.
Oh, okay.
Some people found the narration a little heavy-handed.
Okay.
And some felt the characters lacked emotional depth.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I can see how some viewers might feel that way.
Especially by today's standards. Yeah.
But it's important to remember when the film was made.
Right.
This was 1956.
Yeah.
And film noir conventions were a bit different back then.
Right.
Focus was often on those plot twists and turns.
Yeah.
Rather than the deep psychological exploration.
Right. It was really about
the surface.
Yeah, keeping you guessing.
Keeping you guessing and on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even with those criticisms, the review still gave it a glowing 9 out of 10 rating.
Exactly.
So clearly they saw something.
They saw something special.
They saw something special.
They did.
And I think rightfully so. I mean, Killing has stood the test of time.
It has.
It's innovative storytelling.
Yes.
The strong performances.
Yes.
That unforgettable ending.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, those things continue to captivate audiences even today.
And speaking of the performances.
Yes.
We have to give another shout out to Sterling Hayden.
Oh, he's so good.
As Johnny Clay.
Yeah.
I mean, he just nails that role.
He does.
Of this hardened criminal.
Yeah.
But with this, flicker of humanity.
Yeah.
You can see he's not all bad.
He's got a heart in there somewhere.
Yeah, he does.
Right.
And, of course, we can't forget
Marie Windsor.
Marie Windsor as Sherry.
Oh, she's fantastic.
She steals every scene.
She does. She embodies that classic femme fatale.
With such charisma.
Yeah.
And menace.
Yeah, she's alluring.
Yes.
But terrifying at the same time.
You're drawn to her.
Well, yeah.
She's trouble.
It's not going to end well.
Right.
And it's a classic example of how a supporting character, can really elevate a film.
Absolutely.
Right? Because she's not
the main character, but she makes such an impact.
She does.
Yeah. And it's those captivating characters combined with Kubrick's masterful direction that make this film so memorable.
Yes, so let's recap for our listeners.
Okay.
What makes The Killing a true classic?
All right, so we've got that groundbreaking nonlinear storytelling, that meticulously planned heist, the unforgettable characters, and of course that tragic and inevitable ending.
Yeah, it all comes together to create this,
masterpiece.
Yeah, and to explore these timeless themes of fate, greed, human fallibility.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a film that stays with you.
It does.
Long after the credits have rolled.
It makes you think.
It makes you think about the choices we make.
Yeah.
And,
the forces that shape our lives.
Yeah. It really makes you question things.
It does.
And what I find particularly interesting is how Kubrick uses the constraints of a genre film, in this case, the heist thriller, to explore these deeper philosophical ideas.
Yeah, it's like he's showing us that even within this familiar genre, there's room for complexity.
Absolutely.
For exploring the human condition.
Yeah.
In these unexpected ways.
Exactly.
And that's what elevates it from just a good film
to a great film.
To a truly great film.
It works on multiple levels. It entertains us, but it also challenges us to think about the bigger picture.
And that's what I love about these deep dives.
Me too.
Right, because it's about uncovering those hidden layers, those unexpected connections, and those thought-provoking themes.
Right.
And it really enhances the way you experience a film.
It does. It's about going beyond the surface, appreciating the craft, the artistry,
the intention,
the enduring power of a well-made film.
Well said. And so for anyone who hasn't seen The Killing,
you need to check it out.
I highly recommend checking it out.
It's readily available on various streaming platforms and DVD.
Yeah, it's easy to find.
It is.
And here's a final thought to leave you with.
Okay.
The film's ending is often described as both tragic and inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Johnny Clay's fate would have been different if he hadn't trusted certain people? Or was the outcome predetermined by his choices and his actions?
That is the question.
That is the question.
That lingers long after the film ends.
Yeah.
It speaks to those themes of fate and free will that we've been discussing.
Right. Was he truly a victim of circumstance?
Right.
Or did he ultimately create his own downfall?
Right. It's a complex question.
It is.
With no easy answers.
And that's classic noir.
It is.
Right. I mean, those characters are often trapped by their own desires, their pasts.
Their flawed judgment.
Their flawed judgment,
And in Johnny's case, that one fatal decision to trust the wrong people ultimately seals his fate.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, it makes you think, like, how much of it was actually his fault and how much of it was just bad luck.
Right, exactly. And it reminds us that even the most brilliant mind can be brought down by simple human error,
Yeah.
That there's always that element of chance, this unpredictability to life that we just can't always control.
Right, no matter how much you plan.
Exactly, no matter how hard you try.
The Killing definitely leaves you thinking.
It does.
It's a film that I think packs a punch, both visually
absolutely,
and thematically, and it's considered a classic for a reason.
It is.
And hopefully this deep dive has given you a new appreciation for its brilliance.
Absolutely. I think it's one of those films that rewards multiple viewings.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Every time you watch it.
You pick up on something new.
There's always some new detail or some new layer of meaning that you didn't quite grasp before.
Yeah, that's the mark of a truly great film.
It is.
So if you haven't seen it yet, I can't recommend it enough.
Add it to your list.
Add it to your watch list, absolutely.
Yeah, Lee.
And be prepared to be blown away. I mean, this is early Kubrick.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a masterpiece.
It is a masterpiece.
It'll spark some great conversations.
Absolutely. And get you thinking.
About
fate and choice and a human condition.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe it'll even inspire you to revisit some of those other films we talk about.
Yeah, like Reservoir
Dogs.
Heat.
Yeah, Ocean's 11.
And you can kind of see
those connections.
Yeah, how they were influenced by...
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
Yeah.